Hi guys, I'm here with Tech Girl, or Sam Wright AKA Tech Girl, and she wants to tell you something about that.
My friend Constantine just gave me this fudge. It's covered in Oreos and it's delicious.
Okay, now back to gaming. um, how has Rush actually now really pushed the boundaries for South African esports? 1 second.
I think that this is amazing because for me, this is just a great way to show all the various competitive titles, and it allows someone who maybe knows nothing about esports but is potentially a gamer to come here. I think some of the stands allow you to actually play, to get hands-on, and that's amazing because it allows anyone to get involved in esports to better understand it, and I think that this is great. I think it was a long time coming. We needed to have a stack of esports competitions under one roof. That is the only way we grow this because it allows someone to come in and see something that they like, as opposed to maybe coming to one CSGO and going, well, I actually don't like first-person shooters. This, you can come here and you can go, okay, well, I don't like first-person shooters, but I got a MOBA right next door, or I can come through to Hearthstone and I can play a little bit. That's what we need more of. So I think this is fantastic.
Awesome. And there's a question I ask everyone. If you had to pick a stand that you like the most, as in aesthetically, which one would you choose?
So this is interesting for me because I actually think that the Hearthstone, the Fireside Gathering stand, for me, is the absolute best. I think it's beautiful to look at. It really does look like a tavern. And I also think it's inviting. So they put the benches out, and anyone, they've got all the laptops set up so you can just come and play, and anyone can play. And I think it is a really inviting stand. Close second is the FIFA stand with Kaiser Chiefs and Razor. I mean, that stand is amazing. They've got a little football set up, and there's a stage where people are playing. But I think that the Hearthstone one is so great because it really is an encouraging way and saying to everyone you can come through and you can play, and that's actually the best way to get people into esports.
Basically, like the Rush is the main aim of Rush was to get it to the broad audience, as you said. Now, these games that are here are actually the perfect games for that. Where do you think? Obviously, Rush will probably be an annual thing, and maybe it'll be even on a weekly basis. So basically, these tournaments will be the push to the future of esports. Now, for Rage is basically just the expo of showing off like gadgets and this and that. Um, with like OMEN, for example, I spoke earlier with Matt from general manager, and he said that he's got some gadgets coming through that are they're still getting a license. So those kind of devices will be only available at Rage. So what would you like to tell the audience about the difference between Rush and Rage at the moment? Because that's one thing that people are going to think that this is going to be exactly at Rage. Yeah.
Okay, so one, I've actually seen those gadgets they're waiting for licenses for, and they are pretty sweet. But I think Rage, the difference at Rage is obviously it's not just esports. It's an opportunity for new games. So the publishers like to use Rage as a way to give you game codes so you can play new games. So that's for someone who maybe doesn't want to be competitive. Rage is an opportunity to come and you can just play some games. You've got a lot of hardware and tech. You've got a lot of the geek culture coming in. Whereas Rush is a specific esports focus. It's a little bit smaller, but it really is about competitive gaming and introducing you to competitive gaming. So I think that's where the split is. Rage is all-encompassing, and Rush is almost a small breakaway of that.
The final question is, when you went to Taiwan, there were esports venues, kind of venues. Can you tell us about how they laid out the esports venues?
So I was in Taiwan for Computex, which is a huge, big technology expo, and Computex is amazing, but what's really cool in Taiwan is they have these big shopping malls that are just for electronics. So every floor is a different electronics. You've got a whole camera section, computer section, and all the different brands, whether it be Razer or Asus or MSI, they have these stores, and the stores are open to the general public. But you know, here when you go to a store, you walk in and you have to buy something off the shelf. There, they've got all the stuff that you can buy in the back. But as you walk in, they've got all their hardware set out so you can play. So like the Razer guys will go there if you're a player and you want to practice. They've got incredible internet, and you can just walk in there, sit down on all the latest gear, and play. It's a great way to test out hardware. It's also just a cool way to play, and it's a cool community. So I use Razer as an example because it was my favorite store. But every time you walked in there was just a bunch of kids playing Overwatch because they just launched their Overwatch range, and everyone could just go in and play Overwatch, play on new gear, play with new hardware. And I think it's pretty much exactly what we see here with Hearthstone and with FIFA. and the OMEN store here at Rush where you can just go and play. It's exactly the same thing, only this is in a mall, and this is happening every single day. And I wish we could see more of that. So obviously when Rush was announced and I realized what the setup was going to be, I was so excited because that's exactly what they're doing overseas. And it's just a great way to get people excited because something like Hearthstone, I've never played, but this weekend I've had a chance to go play and I'm like, this is actually really rad and I'm going to play more of this. And I think that that's the only way to grow esports is to get people playing more of these games and also watching it, but also having a chance to get hands-on is amazing.
Awesome, guys. That was Tech Girl, Sam Wright, and we'll have more stuff for you soon. Cheers, guys.